Welcome to PWE Music. I'm Dr. Patrick Englert, and today we're going to be doing a brief class on circular breathing. And circular breathing is one of those things that looks impossible the first time you see it, but once you figure out how to do it and you spend some time with it, it's really not all that difficult. It's just getting that first step of combining blowing air with your cheeks while breathing in through your nose. So to start, that's exactly what we want to do. We want to work on just blowing air using the muscles in your cheeks. Don't worry about anything else. That's all we want to start with because we want to get used to using these muscles. Breathing in through your nose is easy. Doing this is maybe not as easy. So puff your cheeks out as far as they'll go, and then you want to squeeze that air out through your embouchure. And it helps if you try to form like a quasi embouchure, even if you don't have a clarinet or other instrument in your face. The reason we want that is it gives you a little bit more resistance, and the smaller aperture will make it a little bit easier to work those muscles and get the right feeling. So once we're comfortable with that, try breathing in through your nose at the same time. And what will help this is if you can puff your cheeks out as much as possible, and like I said before, form that embouchure here so that you're getting as much time as possible with blowing the air out of your mouth so that you have time to think about what you're doing, breathing in through your nose. Initially, you'll probably want to be trying to gulp through your nose. You want to stay relaxed, resist that urge and that instinct, and really try to, like I said, lengthen how long you're blowing air from your mouth so you can get a good breath in through your nose. And you'll probably just take a quick one, like I said, very quickly while you're doing it, and it may blow up the whole thing, but that's the first step. So the second step is you want to grab a straw, or a coffee stirrer actually works really well for this because it's got a very small opening. It's going to give you a lot of back pressure so you can really work the muscles, and it will lengthen the time, like I said, that you're blowing air from your mouth so you can get more practice breathing in through your nose. Because it's neither one is tough. It's putting them together that's the hard part. So we want to get a straw or a coffee stirrer and just start doing it with just into the air. As you were doing it before, we're just adding another element of that small tube to help work these muscles. Once you feel comfortable with that, we can try this either with or without a glass of water or other liquid. But you want to try and work on going from blowing air from your diaphragm to using your cheeks. And the process you're going to do here is we don't care about the nose for right now. We're just going from the diaphragm to the cheeks. It's all going to be out. There's no extra in through the nose for now. So we're blowing from our diaphragm. As you're doing that, start to fill your cheeks. Once your cheeks are fully inflated, stop pushing here and push from the cheeks. And again, initially it'll be rough and the airflow may stop, but keep working at that, switching from diaphragm to cheeks. Once you're comfortable with that, you can add in breathing through your nose while you're blowing out through your cheeks. Now, just a second ago I said we could do that with or without a glass of water. What you can do is if you put the straw into the glass of water and you blow bubbles, there you have kind of a feedback to give you an idea of what you're doing, making sure that you have something else that tells you if you're maintaining that airstream. If you're just doing it in the air, you kind of have to go off of what you're feeling. If you have that glass of water and you have the bubbles going, you can hear them, you can see them. That gives you some better feedback on if the air is staying consistent. And so once you feel comfortable, maybe if you don't start with a glass of water, or once you feel comfortable getting to there, you want to use those bubbles then as to make sure you're staying consistent and it's not being strong when you're blowing from your diaphragm versus weak when you're blowing from your cheeks. We want to maintain those bubbles consistently. Now, let's go to the instrument. So the instrument's going to be another step up in difficulty because we are trying to maintain tone and sound and volume on the instrument, and it's also a little bit bigger of an apparatus than a straw. So our goal, as I said, we want to have consistent tone and volume and pitch. So if we're talking about clarinet, you may be tempted to use a really soft reed, and that may help you in the beginning as you step up to your normal reed strength. But we actually want a little bit more back pressure and resistance than you think. You don't want it to be too easy, or else you're going to cut off the reed with your embouchure as you're blowing through. Because the tendency when we use the cheeks is going to be to tighten up here. So that's the first hurdle once we get to the instrument, where we have to maintain the reed and a good embouchure. It's going to be controlling the front of the embouchure while we're doing other things in the back. That's step number one, control the front of the embouchure. So you want to stay relaxed here. And again, we want to choose a reed that's maybe not the softest, and we want to choose a note to work on that's not like the easiest. So open G, well, it seems like something we want to try. That's not where you want to start. I would suggest C, as I just did a second ago. So that's where you want to start. And we're doing the same process as we were doing with the straw. We want to keep the air consistent. We want to try to maintain front of the embouchure and keep everything going. So we're switching from diaphragm to circular breathing. And at first, don't even worry about breathing in through your nose. We can add that later. We want to work on that handoff from diaphragm to cheeks. Another thing that may be helpful, just to get more comfortable with it, is do a simple technical pattern. Depending on how it's going for you, that may be a better place to start, just to give your fingers something to do and you don't get frustrated at keeping the embouchure set in that tone and that pitch perfectly locked in. And then you can progress to maintaining a single note, or you may want to start with a single note and progress to doing something else and focusing on your fingers once you have the circular breathing mechanism down. So once we get to that point, it's just practicing and continuing to build those muscles and your ability, and we're always working and striving towards, like I said, consistent tone, consistent pitch, consistent volume, so that you barely hear it when you're doing it. Ideally, no one should be able to tell unless they're specifically looking at your cheeks. We shouldn't really hear the breathing in. We shouldn't really hear it in the sound or anything else. We want it to be disguised. There's no point in doing it if it draws attention to it, because then we're talking about the technique rather than the music. We want it to be about the music first. So that about does it for our class on circular breathing. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe. Check out the Patreon while you're at it, and we'll see you in the next video. If you made it this far, thanks for watching through the entire video. I hope it was helpful. Normally this is where I have a card with links to my Patreon and my Etsy, but I wanted to take a second to give you an idea of what you're going to find at both of those. For my Patreon, there's one level, $5 a month, and that's to help keep these videos coming out. I know lessons can be expensive, and I want this information to be able to be found regardless of your situation, whether you can take lessons or not. The $5 a month also gets you access to a PWE Music Discord server, which if it's not up when you're watching this video, it should be soon. And as of right now, that's just an opportunity to ask me questions, get my thoughts on things, and hopefully as the community grows, you'll be able to get in touch with clarinetists and musicians from around the world. At my Etsy shop, you'll find custom woodworking, and applicable to this are custom reed cases. So as a woodworker, I enjoy making accessories for musical instruments, and everybody should have a reed case if you don't. And not that you need to have a fancy custom one, but I do offer 3D printed reed cases as well as custom wood cases. So hopefully you'll check out either one, give some support to the channel, and I'll keep these videos coming.